Hi, I'm Angie Torani. I'm here to share with you the concept of BodyTalk System, which is the whole healthcare and mind body medicine. So, to introduce myself, I'm Advanced Certified BodyTalk Practitioner, Certified BodyTalk Instructor, Mindscape Instructor, and Access Trainer since 2008. So, I've been practicing for over 10 years and teaching for last 7 years. So it's been an interesting journey taking BodyTalk System and bringing into many people's life. So to start and to share with you the concept of BodyTalk System, let's look at the founder of BodyTalk System, Dr. John Weltham. He's got a huge background as an acupuncturist, chiropractor, homeopath, osteopath, philosopher, and author. And BodyTalk System comes from his background. So in mid-90s, Dr. John Weltham established BodyTalk System, and he took it to Florida, registered himself as a BodyTalk practitioner, and that was the start of this BodyTalk System. He saw amazing results with BodyTalk treatments. It was like within a month he had a 1 year's waiting list. So looking at the excellent results of BodyTalk, he started forming this system where he can train others as instructors, and people can learn and get the same benefits. So since then till now, it's been taught over 50 different countries, translated over 10 different languages, over hundreds of instructors teaching worldwide. And this all has been just because of its excellent results. So I'll share with you case histories. So this is one of my client, a man in his 40s suffering from chronic fatigue. It was muscle pain, very low energy levels caused by Epstein-Barr virus, which was going on for 10 months. Now the irony is, with Western medicine, when it comes to Epstein-Barr viruses or autoimmune diseases, there's not much that could be done or given to address it. It's more like symptomatic relief, some painkillers, but body has to fight it out on its own. So he was going through this massive, difficult time where he was totally exhausted, had no energy to go to work, and major aches and pains. So he had about 3 sessions, and in his sessions, just briefly, the treatments that addressed were towards his immune system, to strengthen the immune system to fight off the viruses, addressing the stress and anxiety about his work, and basically it was the potential change of job and all the anxiety about moving country and new changes coming up through, as well as some food intolerances, toxicity in the gut, which led to inflammation. So basically looking at, with BodyTalk treatments, looking at the various different layers, what were affecting and impacting his health, and depleting the immune system where it couldn't fight out this Epstein-Barr virus. So after a couple of sessions, his chronic fatigue totally disappeared. Muscle pain was completely gone. Blood test confirmed that his Epstein-Barr virus was no longer active. He was back to his exercise, fitness, going to work, feeling amazing with his health and emotions. Then there was another case history where I saw this lady was recommended to me by a doctor, and she used to get this massive migraines. When she came to see me, she was like, I don't think you can do much about it because it runs in the family. Literally everyone in the family had these history of massive migraines, and she used to get it since her puberty. So with BodyTalk, she got about 4 treatments, and the treatments were to address the different layers that came up in her, the causative layers which were leading to her migraines. So there was a lot of work around balancing the brain, improving the circulation, lymphatic drainage around the brain, as well as strengthening her liver meridians, which was specifically quite congested. It was quite a bit of toxicity with the food, eating habits, and vaccination imbalances and so on. So worked on strengthening the liver so it can function better. Loads of chemical toxicity from past medications and all. Alignment of the whole musculoskeletal system, which was neck, shoulder, hip alignment, as well as addressing the genetic and hereditary factors regarding her headaches. So after a couple of sessions, her migraines completely disappeared. And to her surprise, she had She could sleep very well, had very good energy levels, and she just couldn't believe it that simple tapping would address something that was literally all her life. So, to look at body talk, which is also called mind body medicine, it's a novel complementary alternative healthcare modality. It's basically energy medicine, it's the medicine of future. It's looking at the whole bigger picture of health, addressing the physical aspects, incorporating the concepts of Chinese medicine, uh, Western medicine, looking at the whole anatomy, physiology, psychology, which is the emotional aspect, the stresses, traumas, belief systems, environmental factors, genetic factors. So, addressing a lot of different layers of causative factors and helping the body to heal from within. So, BodyTalk system is based on dynamic system, which means everything is interconnected in the body. So, for example, I look at myself in the mirror and I call myself Angie. I'm looking at this community of 30 trillion cells under one skin. And these cells are in constant communication. Now, with our everyday stresses of life, many times these communication networks are compromised, which would lead to diseases and imbalances. So, basically, looking at this dynamic system of interaction and addressing this quantum physics model of integrated body, mind, spirit. So, emphasizing, identifying the underlying psychological, emotional aspect of the health issues. So many times when you've got symptoms, disease, or any aches and pains, complaints, you'll go to a doctor. A doctor will look at whole of your set of symptoms, sort of run a diagnosis, look at symptoms, and come up with a label. That label could be diabetes, ulcer, tumor, anything of that sort. And after the diagnosis and giving it a label, you'll be given probably a prescription of medication, surgery, injections, and basically addressing the body at that chemical level. Now, once you're doing all this, all you're doing is literally looking at this tip of iceberg and addressing the physical aspect of it. So it's like looking at the wound, cleaning it, and doing some bandage on it. So just doing some first aid on the wound, but not looking deeper as to where this problem is coming from and healing it at that level. So with Body Talk, we are looking at this iceberg under the water, which is various different causative factors that go into making of the disease. So for example, ulcer or a diabetes. It could be huge emotional stress, trauma, work-related stress. It could be poor dietary factors. It could be genetic weaknesses. It could be environmental stresses, lack of exercise, fitness. So basically, looking at all those causative factors that go into making of this disease and addressing it from the core. And once you address this underlying causative factors, the diseases should disappear, and they should disappear for good. So what is Body Talk, or this whole healthcare system? It's about communicating with the whole person. Healthcare challenges arise for various different variety of reasons. So there is not usually one simple causative factor. There are layers of different causative factors that go into the making of a disease. So Body Talk is about looking at this whole person, their emotional, physical, environmental influences, and addressing the truly underlying causative factors could be of the disease could be addressed. And once that is done, the symptoms will disappear, and it will disappear for good. So there is no fixed recipe for a treatment. So for example, if I'm looking at 10 clients with migraines, now each one could have a very unique story and causative factors as per their environment, their life stresses that has caused their migraine, or that is basically the root cause of those imbalances. So each client would have a very unique tailor-made treatment as per the body's needs. And how do we do that? We do that by using this protocol. So a practitioner would identify an individualized treatment plan using a protocol which is integrative map of the whole body mind, which covers a lot of concepts of Western medicine. So basically the whole of the anatomy and physiology, looking at organs, endocrines, body part, looking at the concepts of Chinese medicine, meridians, looking at the Ayurvedic medicine, balancing the chakras, emotional release and stress release techniques. So basically, it's lots of different tools and techniques from various different aspects of health. So looking at it from physical aspect, emotional, psychological, Western medicine, environmental factors. So looking at this bigger picture and looking at health from all different spectrum and addressing that whole bigger picture. So basically, having this protocol with lots of different tools. And then you learn a languaging program, which is how to navigate through this protocol, as well as you learn something called biofeedback system, which is muscle testing. So to briefly look at, this is the different concepts that we work with in BodyTalk System, looking at 5 elements, 5 senses, which is our filters of life, how we perceive life, consciousness, the intelligence, the higher consciousness. It's like once the intelligence is affected, then naturally the structure and function would get affected, as well as looking at organs, endocrines, body part, which is Western medicine, energies, which is meridians, chakras, environment has a huge influence. 80% of health problems would relate to environment and emotional aspect. Then addressing the whole of the immune system, psychology, lymphatic drainage, circulation, nerve supply. So lots of different systems put together into one system. So looking at body from a bigger perspective and looking at it from all different disciplines of health and addressing the bigger picture. Biofeedback system is not a new technique. Lots of different modalities have been using it. It's simply using muscle testing to get yes and no response from the body. Then another important concept that we work with in BodyTalk System is called innate wisdom, which is basically our inborn ability to heal. So imagine you cut yourself, your body would repair, heal, the blood would clot, the new skin will form. And this all is happening in our body autonomically. So our body is repairing, healing itself all the time. There's a wisdom that keeps us going, and we call this wisdom as innate wisdom. So in BodyTalk System, we are using this muscle testing, which is neurobiofeedback system, communicating with the body's innate wisdom, and looking at where these communication networks are compromised and helping the body to heal and address from there. Then in BodyTalk, we do the treatments through tapping. So it's gentle tapping on the head to fix it. So imagine you spread your hand and you're touching both halves of the hemisphere. And this gentle tapping on the head, imagine that your brain is like a computer that will send signals to fix it. So this is to facilitate the communication required. Then gentle tapping on the heart, and this is for storing the changes and integrating it into the system. So it's a very simple modality, totally non-invasive, extremely safe, using gentle tapping on the head and heart. So the way I would describe it, it's more like working with the software of the computer and repairing it, healing from that level. So BodyTalk is about understanding the psychology of the body and the influence it has on the health. Emotional, psychological. So 80 to 90% of health problems are emotional, psychological. They always have this huge factor. And unless you address that causative factor, you're really not doing a complete job with healing. So with BodyTalk, rather than focusing on a symptom, the BodyTalk practitioner would look for hidden causes of the illness, which could be physical, emotional, environmental, could be genetic, lifestyle factors. BodyTalk addresses the whole person in their whole story using the entire context of the life, because each one of us have got a unique story, a unique lifestyle, environmental factors, belief systems that go into making of a particular disease or imbalance. Dr. John Weltham had vision to be able to take this BodyTalk system to masses and to as many people possible, and that's how he created BodyTalk Access Seminar, which is a simplified version of BodyTalk system to provide the key benefits of BodyTalk to as many people as possible. So in BodyTalk Access Seminar, you learn 5 simple techniques from that whole protocol, and these techniques are codices, switching, hydration, body chemistry, and reciprocals. as well as you learn fast aid, which is for emergency situations. So codices is basically, it helps you to improve your focus, concentration, memory, relaxation. So imagine your brain is like a huge electric circuit with lots of electromagnetic frequencies, radio waves, electrons, protons, neurons. So it's a complex system and a very intelligent system. And many a times, due to various different stressors in our environment and the electromagnetic frequencies around there, the brain gets into the state of mini shock. So this technique is to get the brain out of the state of shock. It's like rebooting your computer, repairing the neurocommunication, and optimizing the circulation in the brain. So once you balance the codices, it will help you with your focus, concentration, relaxation. It will help with addressing coma, epilepsy seizures, strokes. So using codices techniques in all those scenarios have proven very helpful. And codices with children work amazing. So once you're using this technique for a child who's hyperactive or with learning disorders, you'll see a big change. I'm going to show you how to do this codices seminar shortly, the codices technique. The next technique that you learn in BodyTalk Access seminar is called switching. So when you're overly stressed and your stress thresholds are totally blown out with stress, then there is an internal mechanism to prevent us from overstressing, and this is called switching mechanism. So switching is simply when your brain is switched off. And what happens if your computer is switched off or your intelligence is switched off? There'll be confusion. There's a confusion between left and right, coordination, what's the right thing to do or what's the wrong thing to do, self-destructive behavior, memory lapse. So it's basically affecting the whole efficiency of the brain. When you see children with dyslexia who are reading back to front, the brain is in the switching mode. As well as a lot of self-destructive behavior could be alcohol, drinking, or something that you simply don't do in your conscious mind. It could be when your brain is in the switching mode. So this technique is about reducing the overall stress and getting the brain out of that switching mode. Then the next technique that you learn is called hydration. And hydration is crucial. We know 80% of our body is made up of water. And what we are looking here when we are talking about hydration is cellular hydration is vital. So 80% of health problems and most of the inflammatory health issues have got dehydration as a core problem, as well as a lot of emotional, psychological problems such as depressions, anxieties would have dehydration at the cellular level. So basically this technique is about emotional balance as well as hydration at the cellular level. Then another technique that you learn is body chemistry, and this is about addressing your immune system. Our immune system is like an army, and sometimes this army is under functioning. So for example, army of the body which is not seeing the target right, and the target could be toxins, and it's not able to flush it out, but it's reacting to something as simple as dairy and wheat in form of allergies and intolerances. It could be a system, an army that's not finishing off its job. So for example, you fell sick 2 months, it's been 2 months, you got a cold and flu, you recovered from it, but you still have this lingering cough or lingering stomach ache. So it's not been able to completely fight out that virus. So this technique is about addressing the various microbes in the body, stimulating the immune system to be able to fight out viruses, bacteria, parasites, toxins, and addressing the overreactions of the body, which is allergies and intolerances. Then you also learn something called reciprocals. The way Dr. John Welthiam would describe reciprocals is benefit of acupuncture in 2 minutes. It's about realigning your whole musculoskeleton using the concept of chi, posture, improving your digestive system, nerve supply. And at the core, it basically helps with your aches, pains, degenerative issues, and aligning the whole posture. Then you also learn something called fast aid. Similar to first aid, you use it in emergency situations. So any minor emergency, cuts, bruises, aches, pains, this technique works miraculous. You see amazing results with it. As well as in case of major emergencies, while you're waiting for medical aid to arrive, you can literally save a person's life using these simple techniques. So once you learn this BodyTalk Access, which is usually taught over 1 day or 2 half days, and it takes you once you learn all these techniques, it takes you only 10 minutes to do it on everyday basis. You can do it for yourself, you can do it for your family and people around you. And this is an amazing technique, set of techniques to help you balance the body. So once you're using it on everyday basis, you would be able to see a lot of changes. Your immune system getting stronger. You've got improved coordination, preventing other health issues, maintaining clarity, overall sense of being happier. And subtler changes could be improved family and friends dynamics because you're addressing the stress, anxiety, and surely hugely decrease in your medical bills, as well as an extremely effective technique for emergency situations. So simple, extremely effective healthcare program. The way I look at least one person in the family to be trained with these simple techniques can save a lot of time looking after your family, people falling sick, going for sick leaves, and running to the doctors. I would say extremely crucial for parents. Being a parent myself, once I learned these techniques, this was the best thing that I have ever learned for my family. Now I'm going to talk about BodyTalk Fundamentals Seminar, which is your first step for becoming this whole healthcare practitioner. So BodyTalk Fundamentals Seminar is 4 days intensive training where you learn over 20 techniques in that protocol. And this is about addressing the physical aspect. So looking at the circulation, musculoskeleton, scar tissues, immune system, organs, endocrines, body parts. Emotional factors, it could be past traumas, anxiety, emotional blocks, belief systems, energy blockages, it could be chakras, meridians. So basically what you learn in the 4-day seminar is this protocol, which is essential journal balancing, which is to balance the body, organs, endocrines, body part, which is Western medicine, looking at the whole anatomy and physiology, and most of the time it's not a part of the body that has got a problem, but it's the communication networks. So helping to repair and balance those communication networks. Energy systems, which is our chakras, meridians, as well as environment. Now we all are products of our environment. Environment has got huge influence. And most of the health problems would have this environmental factors. Then we are also looking at the immune system, which we call in body talk body chemistry. So this is looking at the immune system, assisting the immune system to fight off the microbes, viruses, bacteria, parasites, as well as addressing the allergies and intolerances. Then looking at the emotional psychological aspects, which we in body talk language we call it active memory. So looking at emotional psychological stresses, past traumas, belief systems. It could be coming from fetal life, from childbirth, or a specific event, and basically addressing our perception and our filters and our belief systems that sort of make our reality. So the way we perceive stress is through our belief systems, and basically looking at that psychological aspect and addressing it from the core. Then also looking at cellular repair, which is deep repair work at the genetic level, and this is for addressing any inherited or acquired diseases, as well as many times there's a lot of damage done by vaccines at that cellular level. Lymphatic drainage, circulation, blood supply, which is basically the Western medicine. The whole of the musculoskeleton, which is alignment, working with the chi, working with the concepts of osteopathy and realigning the body. So basically, as you see, it's a very comprehensive protocol which could be learned and integrated. So this 4 days seminar is a lot of theory. So looking at the concepts of body talk, the scientific basis of BodyTalk system, learning these techniques, theory, practical, lots of hands-on practice. And by the end of the 4 day, you're able to do a complete body talk treatment on yourself or on somebody else. So simple, extremely effective system where Dr. John Weltham, I would say the genius behind this system, has taken such complex concepts such as traditional Chinese medicine, Western medicine, and simplified it in such a way that anyone in this 4 days seminar can learn and get very good results. Again, the seminar could be learned by lay people with no background, as well as it could be learned by doctors, physios, and people in healthcare. So, sharing with you my experience, I got into Body Talk simply out of interest to help my family, my children, and looking for an alternative healthcare modality just to prevent them from getting on antibiotics and medications with no background from science or medicine as such. And the 4-day seminar, we've learned the Body Talk treatments, started using it for my family, saw amazing results, got certified as a Body Talk practitioner, started seeing clients, saw miraculous results there. And that inspired me to train as an instructor in this field and bring this back to the society, because it's extremely simple, non-invasive, safe modality to look after your and your family health. So if you're interested in embarking a new career in healthcare, BodyTalk System offers you opportunity to establish a very rewarding practice in an affordable and a practical way. So the certification process would begin by taking this BodyTalk Fundamental 4-day seminar, followed by study groups, practice session, retake the seminar at 25% cost, and writing exams, written and practical. So again, there's no time barrier. You can do this literally in a month's time, in a year's time, and basically you learn at your own space. If you're already a healthcare professional, BodyTalk System would give you edge to use these tools to determine why certain symptoms continue to persist. So basically, BodyTalk works with priorities. It will be able to assist you in establishing these priorities as to what techniques, tools, treatments would work best for the client and how to balance them. So if you're ready to take this amazing journey into BodyTalk System, sign up for BodyTalk Seminar. You can find more information on BodyTalk Seminar on my website bodytalksystem.com.hk or international website bodytalksystem.com. Or you can contact me, Angie at bodytalksystem.com.hk. Thank you.